Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim. Tonight's video features our April 2026 budget, our income, our expenses, and our grocery budget of $100 this month for 2 adults. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're well. Take care, be well. Until next time, I'll talk with you again.
Okay, here is my April 2026 budget. Income, two incomes, less our 401k contributions, Roth IRA contribution, and the medical and dental taken out of my husband's check leaves us with $3,800 for the month in income. Our expenses, we have the same expenses basically month after month, so it kind of makes my budget, for me, it makes it manageable and boring. But every now and again, we get a good old surprise or an emergency in that kicks it up a notch. So our rent, which has gone up every year, so that kind of takes the boredom out of it. Rent going up every year. This year it is $1,550. Now that is high rent. That is extremely high rent for the area. Just a couple of years ago, this rent was $775. So in this area. Somebody new bought it within the last 2.5 years and doubled the rent. And there was kind of a thing going on in the area where everybody just raised the rents on the apartments, so everybody that lives in this area is paying astronomical rent. There is no landlord or property anywhere in this small little town of 5,000 people. I think it's the second or third poorest county in the state of Wisconsin that are paying low rent, or unless you are in like subsidized housing or lower income or senior housing. So yeah, that doesn't ever get boring, having your rent raised every year. So that's $1,550 for the year 2026 until the spring of next year, and then I really have urged my husband, now that the company has been sold to a new owner, to really think long and hard. He has been there 25 years, and I get and understand, your loyalty to a company or the stability of being in the same job. And I know and he knows he'll never make the wages and possibly ever the benefits. But if he's going to stay in this area, we cannot stay in an apartment. So that is something that's weighing heavy on our minds and our decisions. We've been wanting to leave, but he's had a medical issue that he needs surgery for, and he needs to have the insurance that was with the company that was his employer just previously, and he is getting better insurance with this new employer, plus better dental. So that's always a draw to stay in a job, but at the same time, our income is being just basically robbed by our cost of housing. So we need to make a decision if we are not going to relocate, which is a major endeavor, especially with a senior cat that's really of poor health. That's just one of the reasons why we haven't moved, that we need to think seriously about what kind of house we really seriously can afford. I'm aiming for a small house, just possibly just one floor. There are quite a few smaller houses in this area where the total upstairs living space would be like 1,500 square feet, something like that. And I don't know if that's considered small in houses, but we live in 1,200 square feet right now. So definitely not the ranch style house that we envisioned ourselves in, just a smaller house, a smaller property. If not right in town, on the edge of town, having a property out in the country or having any type of acreage is just never going to work for us, especially as we get older. I can see things like having a hard time getting into town to get groceries and having driveways plowed and stuff like that. Those are things that are just major in this area for seniors. Many seniors in this whole entire area are shut-ins. They rely on Meals on Wheels. They don't have relatives or friends or associates that check on them, and not to be morbid or anything, but just on a regular basis there are people found at least 3 or 4 times a week just in this small area, deceased. So I don't want any of those situations, if we can avoid it, to occur for us. I know one day obviously we will pass on, but I'm just one of those people that just plan and then plan some more. So I'm trying to convince him smaller house if he's going to stay at this job, to stay in the area. Then we need to start pinpointing what the house is going to look like and what we can afford. So right now, rent $1,550, and I know we could get a mortgage for far less than that. Not much, but probably a good $900. Food is $100 this month, and I'll get to that later. Our food bill generally is $700 a month, and that includes food and household, our kitty, and basically anything else that we can fit in there. But for the most part, it's just food, household, and our cat. Gas is $60 a month, and that's pretty much been that way for quite a while. As the prices go up in that, we just stay home more, order grocery delivery, which only costs $5, and then a tip. Well, actually, it doesn't cost anything. It just costs a tip, which can be anywhere based on what I order, and that, which usually comes out to be a 15 or 20% tip on, a $80 to $100 order. So that is cheaper than starting the car up and driving 40 minutes or an hour from here and then 40 minutes or an hour back. Car insurance is $71.50 a month. Our renter's insurance is $30 a month. Well, I went too far. Our phone bill is two lines. That's the only plan that I could get when I brought my husband from a track phone to a smartphone. So 2 lines. I'm hoping I can fix that in the future, but right now T-Mobile says no. 2 smartphones. Mine is been ready for an upgrade for a little over a year now, and I'm not going to upgrade. And I was able to pay off my husband's phone and got the phone bill down from $167, I think it was, to $101.50. Our electric bill runs anywhere from a minimum of $125 to a maximum of $170, some $179 in the summer. So I've got that at $147, give or take, a couple of dollars. This month, our phone bill was $149, or our electric bill was $149.11. And then the reason why the grocery bill is going down this month is because something that I guess we didn't really plan for, though I thought I planned for everything, is medical and dental expenses. With dental and that, we do get teeth cleaning. We do go for exams. My husband especially. Do I have cavities? He doesn't have cavities. So teeth cleaning and exams, and we pay 50% of whatever that cost is, and the plan gives us up to $1,000 a year. So they pay 50%, we pay 50%. And once their 50% reaches $1,000 for the family plan, my husband and myself, they don't pay any further past that. You pay 100% of everything. I don't consider that a good dental plan, but like I said, we've only used it for exams and teeth cleanings, so it wasn't a big deal. Now, with breaking my denture, when I went in and looked at options of what I could do, a brand new denture, which I've never had. I've had dentures since I was 19, and I've had the same denture. I've taken care of it. It's in good condition, but unfortunately, after 40 plus years, I dropped it. When I went in to look and see if I could repair it versus get a brand new one, they did say there was an option to repair it, which is exactly what they did, and I spent most of Wednesday, the whole day, getting it repaired and getting it fitted and stuff like that. The total bill is going to be $1,250. The insurance company is going to pay half of that, and I'm going to pay half of that, and that basically takes them paying $600 out of the $1,000 that they pay anything on for the current year. So we're hoping with the new employer that we get better dental insurance, because my husband does have some work now that he needs to get done. So what I'm going to do to get my portion paid is I'm going to do a little pantry challenge. I've got a 60-day pantry in the back room. I would ideally like a 90-day, so that's my next goal. Right now I have a 60-day, so I'm going to take 30 of those 60 days, and in this case, since I'm not starting till the 9th, it's going to be less than 30 days of the first 30, or to get it straight, it's a 60-day pantry in the back room. I'm going to utilize a few days of relying on my pantry to create some meals. I'm also going to use any leftovers up. I'm also going to go into our freezer and start using some of the bacon. I stocked up on bacon. I still have sausages that we need to use. I still have some chicken that was purchased in March that I can use. So there's products that I can use without depleting my freezer and without depleting my pantry. And then I'm giving us $100 to buy like fresh produce and that until the end of April. So I'm starting this on April 9th. The beginning of April, the meals that we had were I used up leftover sloppy joes, mix, leftover casserole, leftover homemade soup. We had some pizza that was leftover. So the first part of April was leftovers, and then once I made an Easter dinner, we had leftover gratin potatoes, leftover mashed potatoes. I bought a good size ham that I was able to get 6 meals out of, and actually wasn't one of those bone-in or anything. I bought it at Sam's for $11. I think I put it in a haul. I think it was $11.78. I'd have to go back and double check. I bought those hams before. I bought it again. We really, really enjoyed it. So we had ham for our Easter dinner on Saturday. On Sunday, we volunteered at our local church, so we spent a good part of the day there. And then we had ham salad sandwiches that evening with soup. I'm making bami tonight with some leftover ham. I've made ham and cheese omelets. So that's what we've been eating since the first part of April. And now as April 9th, I will begin to make approximately 12 meals from my pantry, so I won't be depleting that. And then I'll have $100 for fresh produce and anything that's a staple product that we run out of. And then at the end of the month, we'll see where we're at. And I'll make a video to show approximately 12 or 13 days from now what our meal plan is, what I spent that $100 on, and how we're doing. So then by doing that, I'll be able to pay my portion of the dental. And obviously this has been a wake-up call to make sure that we have a medical and dental savings. As far as medical goes, we have had good medical insurance. We have preventative screenings. We have gone to get the usual screenings at 40 and 50 and 55 and 60. And the insurance that we have right now until the new company takes over the insurance pays 80% as far as co-pays. We haven't had any type of medication, so we haven't had to worry about co-pays, but it's just it could be at any time where one of us is going to need medication. When my husband has surgery, obviously there's going to be things there that he needs, and so now is the time. It should have been before, but since we didn't have those expenses, we were mainly worried about our living expenses, because they're going up, taking care of a sick cat, taking care of an old car. And so a lot of our priorities were to save for those types of things, and since we were fine medical and dental, we weren't saving for that. Well, those days are gone, so I will get my portion of the denture paid for. We will be just perfectly fine with what we have in the pantry, the freezer, and what I'm allotting for fresh produce, and that will be that. So as we go, as we've started, in the last couple, 2-3 years, prioritizing savings, things have been a lot better for us. Instead of just, flying by the seat of our pants and we get paid and, paying the bills and then going here and going there and not really watching what we were spending on groceries, not prioritizing savings, having a lot of issues in that forced us to have to sell some of our belongings and stuff like that. And my husband just, when he lost overtime in that, he started clearing out a lot of collectibles and stuff like that and selling those. And instead of having to do that, which we've done that off and on, and when it has to be done, it has to be done, we just decided to start becoming, I guess, more frugal, taking and seeing that, there is value in not overspending. I got out of debt with student loans. I paid off my student loans, which were considerable. We were in credit card debt for a number of years, and we were able to pay down our credit cards and then finally pay them off. And we don't have credit cards anymore, and we don't want credit cards. So we've learned to be savers over being spenders. We've learned to try to develop the concept of buying what we need and not necessarily what we want. And it's really made us, I feel, more comfortable and more happy and less stressed, less irritated, and less regret about, buying something that wasn't really necessary and then having to, scrounge later or figure out something later. So we do have a retirement fund. We do both contribute to retirement. And our total, my husband's total contribution is 15% out of his wages, and my total contribution is 15% out of mine. So I try to contribute 10% into a Roth IRA, and then 5%, well, give or take, I think I said it's 15 total out of our combined paychecks. My husband contributes 10% to a 401k right now, and I contribute 10% to a Roth IRA. And then together with our income, we contribute 5. So that might be misleading what I've said, 5 and 15. So we're trying to get to the goal of what should be contributed towards retirement out of our income. An emergency fund, we have had emergencies and issues that have popped up. So that's at 10% of our income, whatever our income may be, and so we put $380 in our emergency savings. Household savings, we don't always need that, but I think that it's a good idea because you just never know, and we don't want to have to pull from our monthly food and household budget for whatever may come up, or like in even this case, I don't want to have to pull from the savings account to pay for my dentures if I do have food in the house that I could use up without drawing down and depleting us of any type of backup food. So household savings, if we don't use it in that, we could convert it into something else like moving savings or something like that. But right now we're going to keep it at household. And car maintenance, of course, oil changes, tire rotations, new tires, stuff like that. And then we developed a savings for medical and dental at 5%, $190 a month, and we just started that. Leaving or having our total expenses for the month $3,800, our total income $3,800. That's a zero-based budget. So as far as what I'm going to make out of the pantry, I've got that listed here. So 12 meals are coming out of the pantry. I'm going to make tuna casserole, which is 2 meals, 4 servings. Chicken casserole, 2 meals, 4 servings. Black bean soup, the same. Black bean burritos, 1 meal. Soup and sandwich, 1 meal. Bami with leftover ham, 2 meals and 4 servings. Stir fry with frozen veg leaves us with 2 meals, 4 servings. That's 12 meals altogether. What it uses out of the pantry is the tuna, some canned chicken, some black beans, some rice, some soft shell tacos, soup, a bami mix, a stir fry mix, noodles, and 2 cans of broth out of the pantry. It uses leftover ham, frozen. I have some cubes of frozen onions, cilantro, celery, and some green onions. It also uses frozen bag of squash, bag of corn, sweet potato, bag of peas, some homemade broth, and carrots out of our freezer. This is going to be beginning today. Those 12 meals will end on 4/21/26. I'll update what we're going to eat in a meal plan after that date until the end of the month. So far, grocery list that I've got is 2 gallons of milk, $6.88. It may not be our choice of milk, our brand of milk, or anything like that, but when when we're doing something like this, we're fine with having another brand of milk in that, and drinking it and being just fine with it. And whenever need be, we do this on a regular basis. When we can't afford it, then we buy the type of milk that we like. It's not necessarily that we don't like the type of milk that I'm going to be buying. It's just that I prefer, digestive-wise, to drink organic milk. But if I have to drink just conventional milk and that to save money, I'll do that too. Not a problem. 3 loaves of bread is what we're going to need for the month, and then I'm going to get a cinnamon loaf so that for breakfast and stuff like that we can have some toast, a dozen eggs, some bananas, lettuce, and orange juice. And right now I think that I don't remember what that comes to, but it's certainly not $100. So That is our first grocery list, the 12 meals, what it depletes from our freezer and the pantry, our budget, $3,800 income, $3,800 expenses, with some savings accounts as our priorities, needs versus wants, and paying an expense that was unexpected. And so if you like this kind of video, let me know. I look forward to seeing you in the comments. I hope you're all well, and until next time, take care, be well, and I'll talk with you again.